This week, our heroes talk about what it takes to be a pirate. Kurt Cobain sells his guitar, and we find out whose life Jamie saved. All this and more on this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. What did the pirate wear on Halloween? A pumpkin patch.
3, 2, 1.
Bam. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We are good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me at Gone to the Snow Dogs and Snow Dogs Vlogs.
Jess, it is a brisk 97 degrees out here.
That's insane.
80 in my house. Whew. You never get used to that no matter how many years you live here. Meanwhile, it's either raining or not at your house.
Currently it is not raining. It is supposed to start raining in about an hour. It is only 68 degrees here, though.
Is it going to rain for a long time or just a splash?
It's supposed to rain all evening this evening, but I don't know. Because, yesterday it wasn't supposed to rain at all. And then the weather changed, and suddenly it was going to rain, and then it poured like crazy. But, my mom didn't get it, and Greg didn't get it. It was like this little strip of rain that just came and soaked us, and then there was no more rain. So, Who knows?
I know, right? Well, the reason I ask about the weather, as if I don't every week, is I was curious, do you guys have hot springs out there?
Do we have hot springs?
Yeah, I think it's when you have that hole in the ground and there's natural water in there and it's warm. I don't know, by farts or the sun or something.
It's usually hot springs are kept hot because of volcanic activity underneath the ground. But we don't have hot springs here, but we do have natural springs where the water comes out of the ground, but it's cold.
Oh, is that water you could just drink?
Yes, a lot of the times with the natural springs, the water's very clear and filtered.
How does that happen? Where does the water come from? The ground?
So, in Michigan, we have a lot of underground rivers and underground caves and caverns, and the water travels through there.
Whoa.
And then there's certain spots where it builds up and the pressure builds and it kind of comes up to the surface.
What makes it so clean?
The natural filtration from the water and the dirt actually makes it cleaner. There's a place in the Upper Peninsula called Kitchitikipi. It's called Big Springs. Mm-hmm. And if you actually, if you look it up, it's ridiculously blue water. It is all fed by natural spring water. You could take a little boat and you can go across it, and there's a glass bottom you can look through, or you can look over the edge, and you can actually see the springs at the bottom of this big hole in the ground. You can see where it's all bubbling through the sand. The water, I believe, is 50. It was cold. I don't think it was 50 degrees. Maybe it was 40 degrees. Anyway, it's cold water, maybe 50 degrees all year round. It doesn't freeze over because the water it's cold. We're super cold in the summertime, but it's not cold enough to freeze in the wintertime. And it's all a natural spring.
It's good to drink?
I mean, I think you could drink it. I don't like drinking water straight out of the ground without one of those fancy straws that filters things anyway.
Right. Especially since you just said you just ran a glass bottom boat through it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. But I did see those straws before. My friend Ryan had one of those straws at the bike shop, and he was just like, you could pee in this, and then I'll drink it. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I don't want to play with your filter that bad. It's like when you have the watches that are waterproof, it's it doesn't mean you have to wear it in the shower.
Right.
Right. Calm down. I was like, you should go back to the days when we were younger. We were just straight drinking out the hose.
Right, with the lead-lined hose.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It just had that metal taste to it.
Yep.
Yeah, those hoses was the dirtiest things ever. You would just turn it on, wait a couple seconds for all the hot water to come out of it, and then just the lukewarm water would run out, and you just drink it, and off you went to go play football in the street.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, and I don't think I can imagine drinking out of the hose anymore.
They specifically sell hoses now that say they are lead-free.
Mm. Yeah, no, I have that 9-volt battery taste in my mouth right now thinking about it. I totally do. I even now, at your house, you have 2 waters, right?
Yes, we have water that comes from the city water, or the township water, I guess you could say. And that is just like anybody else that lives in a city and has city water. It's all processed through the city, comes through the pipelines, and you play SimCity and you have to lay down water lines. That's the water that comes through the water lines. But then we also have another water faucet outside, and that's actually well water. So that's the water that's processed through the ground.
And you explained that to me. The well water's underneath your house?
Yes.
Is it in a box? Or is it, do you have to check on it like a septic tank?
The pump is in a box underneath our house.
And then it finds water around you.
There's a pipe that goes down into the ground so many feet until it hits the water table.
Okay, I remember seeing that from when we learned about the water coming out of the ground.
Yes. Yeah, so I have that in my basement. In my basement there's a little room that goes into another little room, and inside that room we have our well pump and all of that stuff down there.
Okay, and it goes down there under your house. Is there a chance that you could suck too much water out of it?
Yes, if there's not enough rain, if we have a really dry season, you can run a well dry. Speaking of, Greg messaged me yesterday and sent me a picture of the sky because he knew we were getting a bunch of rain. He could see it from his house. And he said, can you please send that this way? Because I drained the well at the barn. At his barn, he has a well, and he drained it completely dry. So he has no more water in his well. There's no more water in the ground right there until we start getting rain again. Okay,
and then it comes back naturally.
Yep. So a lot of times you don't want to run it for super long periods of time because you don't. I mean, it depends on your well. The well we have was used for watering outside, so it's not a really deep well. If it was a well that was designed to supply water to our entire house, it would go deeper into the ground, so you would have less of a chance of actually drying it out.
That's so cool. Up until I was there this last time, I didn't recall at all that you had two different waters.
Yep, we have two different
So
waters.
the well water, you don't drink it, you just use it to water the lawn and stuff.
Our well water is not filtered through any filtration system, so we do not drink it.
Oh, when it comes out of the hose, does it look like it's a different color or nah?
It depends. Early in the season it does, and I think it's just because, everything's been sitting in the pipes for longer. But right. Other than that, it usually gets pretty clear after we start running it, for a while.
That's cool. I only have one water. It's hot water from the city. It's so hot.
Right. Yeah, I bet.
So it's been a little while now. How's working at the deli?
Oh my gosh. I can't say that I miss the customers. I can't say that I missed the job.
How many days have you worked there now? 4 or 5?
5 as of today, because I ended up having to go in today.
Oh yeah? How was that?
It was good. It was good to see everybody again. Everybody's excited that John Carl and Danielle had their baby, so everybody's coming in going, oh, congratulations, and they're bringing them stuff. And John Carl went back to work today, so awesome. At least for a little bit. He's there for a little bit today, and then he'll leave early so that he can go back home and be with Danielle. Danielle won't come back to work for a while, but he was there today. He was glad to be back. At the same time, he was like, I'm glad to be here, but I'm so worried about her being home by herself with 2 kids. That's true, huh? One for each hand. Yeah. He did have to leave at one point in time. He came up front and he's like, I gotta run home and help Danielle. And I'm like, okay. And then when he came back, Danielle had a C-section, so she can't bend down and pick up John Matthew. She's like, her insides will spill out. Yeah, so she called John Carl and she's like, hey, can you come help me put him to bed for his nap? And John Carl had to go to the house and help her out, so... Yeah, That's been interesting. I thought it was funny that you posted a picture and it said it's a girl and people were so dang confused. Oh, that was so great. Yeah, I posted on the Snow Dogs Vlogs Instagram of the balloon that my brother put out in front of the deli, which I thought was so cute, so I wanted a picture of it. And I don't remember what I posted in the caption, but it had said something like, oh, the baby's here. And, I guess I'm wrong to assume that the people that follow us actually watch our videos, because some people do and some people watch once in a while. So I guess when I just assume that everybody knows what's going on, they really don't. And a lot of people thought Jamie and I had a baby. And I'm like, well, that means you haven't watched my videos for at least, 9 months? I thought it would have been funny for you to make a video just showing off John and Danielle have a new kid, and the thumbnail should be you holding a wrapped up baby, and you're leaning forward a little bit with Jamie leaning over your shoulder, and the face of the baby is me. Surprise. Oh my god. Oh, that's so great. Somebody left that comment on the vlogs too that said something like, if Jess and Jamie had a baby, it would be Dan. I read had that. A kid, it would be Dan. That was in the vlogs. That was what it was. Oh my gosh. I spent about 45 minutes last night going on the last video before we went home from the trip and commenting on everybody's post. Did you? Oh yeah, it was great. Everybody had such nice things to say about me, but it's funny to see the perception of what they think you and I are. I love it when Dan goes and sees the dogs. Or I love it when Dan and Jess get to hang out.
or it's fun to take Dan around like a dog. It's like a combination of three of those and show him all this cool stuff. So it's funny. Right? So I love all the comments, and yes, I replied back to all of them.
Did you? Well, good.
Yeah. It makes me happy when people say, I like it when Dan's in your vlogs.
Yeah. I'm like, you bring a different dynamic, that's for sure. Plus, with COVID, everything has been so slow lately. So it was kind of nice when you were here that we were able to do stuff.
Right. All I did was race dogs, hide under campers, and blow up stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yes, I have all my digits. People were very concerned about that. I do have all my digits.
Yay! You were talking about having all your digits. All those yellow box fireworks opened up this week, so hopefully we don't hear about any fireworks accidents this week.
We have fireworks that have been going off here because, you can sneak them into Lancaster and stuff, and people are shooting off fireworks and stuff. And yesterday was Father's Day, so Patty had come over, Crystal's mom, and she was sitting on the couch talking about, like, what do you guys want to do for 4th of July? Maybe we'll just have it at my house. Like, we'll just come over and hang out. And we're like, okay, whatever. She's like, I'll go buy some fireworks. And I could tell, I was just like, okay. Because we have those safe, sane fireworks that don't like go off the ground. The sparklers are really weak. We might have some stuff that'll spin around, but nothing leaves the ground. You guys can Google safe and sane fireworks. It's like not fun. It's like when you go to like the grocery store, to the Walmart, and you see the little bag and it's like pow, and it looks like something's going to explode, but it's really those little pull string poppers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. In fact, you guys had like a mega kit at your guys' Meijer. Our little mega kit actually has those throwdown poppers in it. That's like how sad it is. Or those little snakes, those little things that look like little hockey pucks that you light, and they just kind of turn into like a big turd. And then the smoke bombs, we have like smoke bombs still, but they're really weak. So this year, now that I've seen the light, literally, I am a little bit jaded on safe and sane fireworks. So I'm just like, I don't know, maybe we'll just get like a pizza instead.
Right.
We'll watch everybody
maybe
else's
we could
fireworks.
Just watch fireworks on TV.
It's super dry season here too, so it's just 4th of July. You can hear some of the fireworks go off and stuff like that, but mostly you just hear the sirens of the fire truck going up and down the town, putting out fires, because it's super dry, and we got a little bit of moisture earlier in the season, so everything's big and dead now instead of small and dead. So it's not going to be fun. The poor cats don't like it for sure.
My neighbors, Saturday night, probably for a Father's Day party or celebration or something, but Saturday night, right around the corner from me, they were shooting off those big mortars out in front of their house. They live on Mud Lake, and they were just shooting one after another, and I was sitting in here listening to them. I'm like, holy cow, they're having a good time. Yeah,
and now that I know what it costs per mortar,
right?
Someone the other day was out there, and I was like, oh, that's about $1,000, like, and it's not even 4th of July.
Yeah, fireworks are, it's expensive to blow up money.
I know, huh?
Yeah,
but it's super cool.
It is, and it's fun. We haven't decided yet, but I think this year we're just going to do our own show instead of actually going down to the fireworks show. Yeah, I think so. We were kind of talking about it because, like, we live in town, so it's not hard for Jamie and I to go to our fireworks, but my mom and dad live out of town, and my aunt has her cottage north of town, and usually there's so many people in town for our fireworks. It takes that's when we have real traffic. The police have to come out, and they man almost every corner, and they have to, cars go this way, and it's hours to get out of downtown and back to where you live. So sometimes it's just too stressful. Last year, I think it was last year or the year before, my parents parked in the mall parking lot because the fireworks get shot off at Mishkiwa's Park. So you can sit in the mall and you can very clearly see the fireworks. So you can sit in your car or sit in the back of your truck or whatever and watch fireworks on the mall. If you do it there, you can get out quick. My parents literally can leave the back of the mall and go home. Same with us. We could just leave and go. So I don't know if we're going to do that or if we're going to go out to my aunt's on the lake and shoot off fireworks, or go out to my parents on the lake and shoot off fireworks. They both live on lakes, so it's kind of nice. You just shoot them off and there's water there, so
yeah,
you're not going to set things on fire.
Right? Well, you could just go up north to Mackinac.
Yeah, the Mackinac does 3 fireworks shows at once. Did you know that?
No, wait, but that place is so tiny.
So there's the fireworks in Mackinac City, there's the fireworks on Mackinac Island, and then there's fireworks in St. Ignace. A couple of years ago, right before 4th of July, my mom fell and hurt her leg, and she wasn't able to go to the fireworks because she couldn't walk real well. And we decided, since nobody else was going to the fireworks here, we were going to drive to Mackinac. So we drove up to Mackinac to watch the fireworks, and we got to see 3 fireworks shows all at once. If you sit in the right spots, you can see all 3 of them going off at once.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's neat to see, and they kind of don't they like St. Ignace and Mackinac City does a really good show, and the island does as well. I don't know if they still do it, but St. Ignace used to do fireworks every single Saturday night. They would just do fireworks every Saturday night. So you could drive up and you could watch fireworks every Saturday night. But it's neat to see all three of them going off at once and everybody shooting fireworks off. That's a fun show to watch.
Yeah, that would be cool. I did see, because you showed it to me, that our first ever Great Lakes Pirate Festival will be held in Mackinac City.
I saw. Apparently it happened on Saturday.
Yeah, just this last Saturday.
Yeah, I just saw it, and then apparently it happened on Saturday. Shepler's Ferry has a pirate ship that you can take to get to Mackinac Island.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it. It's really cool, actually.
And it's a fully role-play staffed pirate ship. Like, you're on a pirate ship.
It's pretty cool. It looks like something out of Captain Ron.
Yeah. I don't know how much it costs to ride that ship versus a regular ferry. I'm going to assume it probably costs more. But that would be a neat experience to do at least once, to ride over there on a pirate ship.
Yeah, I'm looking at this pirate right now, and it kind of reminds me of a wooden roller coaster. It's like, well, is this going to be comfortable to take or not? Or is it going to go to Dorne? Or where's this thing off to?
It's going to the island.
Somebody owns that, right? Like, there's this dude in California that owns the Batmobile from the 90s Batman's movies. And he drives it around all the time, and people's always posting pictures of it. You know, just kind of like the DeLorean owners.
Right.
But this guy owns a pirate ship.
Yeah, he owns it. Well, Starline Ferry owns it. So the people that own the Starline ferries for Mackinac is the ones that own the pirate ship.
If you owned a pirate ship, do you just have to be in pirate ship all the time? Like, as far as, like, you need to look like Jack Sparrow?
I mean, I think that's what people assume.
Would you be pretty bummed out if I pulled up to the shore? Like, I don't know, whatever, to get some curbside pickup deliveries or something like that, and I pulled up to the shore in my pirate ship, and I got out, and I looked like a bro. Like,
yeah, I would be bummed. I would be bummed.
I'd get off the pirate ship and hit my little button, bloop, 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 and lock my pirate ship.
I feel like if you own a pirate ship, you should be dressed like a pirate because you are a pirate because you own a pirate ship.
That's a lot. What are
the credentials for being a pirate? You own a pirate ship.
Well, first of all,
you have to be,
you have to be missing something. Arm, leg, eye.
Oh,
you have to have a lot of beads in your hair, kind of like Jack Sparrow. You have to have a bandana on. You have to have some sort of swashbuckling item. I'm not sure what that is, but like some sort of like thin sword, you know?
Swashbuckling.
Yeah, right. You know, you have to look a little unkempt and have some facial hair, and you have to have a hat that's all like bent up. Also, you always have to like kind of wobble around when you're on land, like if you're still on water. So that's a lot to keep up all the time. You know, I'm looking at a picture of this guy standing on the ferry, and he's dressed up like Jack Sparrow, and he's got his guy liner on.
I love how that's everybody's idea of a pirate now. Remember when everybody's idea of a pirate was Captain Hook?
Yes.
It was Captain Hook. No matter what, it was Captain Hook. If somebody was a pirate for Halloween, they had a hook. You were Captain Hook. And then Pirates of the Caribbean happened, and now it's Jack Sparrow. Every pirate is Jack Sparrow. It doesn't matter. It's Jack Sparrow.
So I'm doing air quotes. This Jack Sparrow guy is standing on the boat, and he's in full Sparrow costume. Like, you know, good job. Like, you have it all pulled off and stuff like that. And he's straight up got a Coors Light in his hand. I'm like, dude, you got to pour it into a jug, bro. And the jug has to have like the big X on it.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be rum?
You're right. It is supposed to be rum. Nope, it's just straight up Coors. The mountains are cold. I can see it on there. But I think that's pretty cool. It looks like I'm looking at their Facebook page, and they had a DJ there. Ooh, they had pirate trivia. Oh my gosh, let's do pirate trivia. Okay, Jess, what has 8 legs, 8 arms, and 8 eyes?
I don't know.
8 pirates. Oh yes,
oh my god.
Oh yeah. So that would have been cool to go up to.
Yeah, it would have been neat. Like I said, I saw it on Facebook and I sent it to you because I thought it was neat, and then I'm like, oh, that was like today.
Yep.
Well.
Yeah, it looks like
that's how we find out about stuff.
I know, right? So if you were to go there, oh yeah, they have like face painting. Well, I would get a cool face paint. I'd get a patch. I would have them face paint me a patch on my eye.
You definitely could do that.
Oh man, I gotta come up next year when they have this. What pirate food do they eat? What's scurvy? Can you eat scurvy, or do you catch it?
What's scurvy? No, you catch scurvy.
Okay, so we're not doing that. But I'd be on the lookout, Jess. It looks like a lot of cool things are happening up there.
There's usually a lot of really fun stuff that happens in Mackinac. They have a lot of little festivals and different little things that they do up there. And it looks like, you know, a lot of stuff got canceled, but some of the smaller events they haven't canceled, which has been kind of nice.
Are you a fan of those Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
I like them, yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit down and watch them over and over and over, but I watched them.
Right. I watched the first couple. I thought they were fun.
Dogs making noise with their toy. I enjoyed them.
Which dog, Kira?
Yeah, I don't know what she has, though.
It's the Kira segment of the podcast. I left last week's Kira segment in there.
Did you? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if what she has is going to make enough noise to make it onto the podcast. Though she had something.
Is it
She
the
was
same?
running by?
Is it the same ball?
No, I don't think it's the ball. Oh, now she's drinking water. Whatever it was, she's already over it. This portion of the CC Mouse podcast brought to you by Kira, and the letter I for I don't know what the heck she had.
It's gone now. Whatever it is, it's gone now.
Yep.
So, Jess, you sent me another link to an article. You're just full of stuff this week. Kurt Cobain.
Oh, I found all kinds of fun stuff.
You do. You know, I search for all kinds of stuff, and you just go boom, 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 and you have 3 like interesting things all the time. I'm like, how do you do that?
I'm just good at it.
Kurt Cobain's MTV Unplugged guitar sells for over $6 million.
And it was a
cow.
record-breaking, like, that's the most expensive guitar or something ever sold, I think it said.
Yes. And it was purchased... Well, first of all, this thing is not worth $6 million.
I mean, apparently it is, because somebody paid $6 million for it, which makes it worth
cow.
$6 million.
You don't think
But they don't have the cardigan. They need the whole set.
The cardigan, I think, went for $52,000.
I don't remember.
Something like that? Or no, wait, what was it? Because we did a whole podcast
We did a
on
podcast on that. Yeah, we
His
did.
sweater sold for way too much.
Yeah. Wow. But now whoever bought the guitar needs the cardigan.
That's true.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You'd probably get it at a Hot Topic. I'm looking at his cardigan right now. It looks just kind of like a blanket.
Right.
There's a blanket
Kira
with
again.
hole. So,
right.
So apparently, due to the pandemic, it was a smaller than usual group at the auction center in Beverly Hills. But people still showed up to vote. $6.01 million is a new record for a guitar at any auction. The previous record was held by a Stratocaster owned by Pink.
Stratocaster?
It could be. This one says Stratocaster. Yeah, owned by Pink Floyd's David Gilmour, and that fetched $3.9 million. So this almost double that.
Wow.
Right. And it looks like the guy that, I don't know if he owns Rode Mics or works for Rode Mics. If you guys are into the, recording industry or into filmmaking, you know that Rode Mics are very, very nice.
Yeah, that's who bought it?
Yes, yeah. So he bought it, and he said that he was going to take it around to promote like mental health and drugs and stuff like that. Not promote drugs, but promote like drug awareness and mental health awareness and stuff. So he's going to use that as like the beacon or the fetching point to be able to go around and talk about mental health and stuff like that.
So there's a chance I could get to see the guitar in person.
Yes, there is.
Well, I need to know when the tour is. I would like a picture of that. That'll be better than the Stanley Cup.
I was just going to say, you can go see it like it's the cup. So yeah, so he's going to take it around, and use it for good, which is good. Also, because the story gets crazier. First of all, is that a tax write-off?
If he uses it for that purpose, yeah, I think it could be.
That might be beneficial.
Yeah.
Maybe we should buy some memorabilia. All right, so here's a part of the story which I'm not sure that you know about. So back in like 2017, Kurt Cobain's daughter, Frances Bean.
Yep.
So she filed a lawsuit against... Do you file it against somebody? She filed a lawsuit against her husband, now ex-husband, to get that guitar back because she gave it to him as a wedding gift.
Yep, I remember that.
Yes, and she's like, I need it back after they broke up. And it's like, first of all, like, how are you going to give that away? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if I give it to you and it stays in my house, right?
Yeah, I guess if that's the way it happened, if you knew you were going to be together or whatever, and I'll give it to you, but it's still ours because everything that's yours is mine and mine is yours. But then what happens if you get divorced? Yeah,
so she had to go to court. She tried to get him to give up the guitar to like a mediator until they figured it out what was going on.
Right.
Because, if you give me a gift, you don't get it back. But she tried to use the line that it was a family heirloom, which is spelt weird.
Yeah, it is, but you still gave it to some... that's hard. That's hard because there's a part of me that's like, if you're a decent human being... That was her dad's guitar. Give it back. A decent human being is still going to give it back.
They weren't even married more than like, I don't know, like a year or so. 21 months.
So he's not a decent human being.
21 months. He's in some rock band or something like that. But anyway, so that guitar, he gave back a $6 million paycheck.
Yeah.
From that guitar. Why is it worth so much? I mean, it's not like, look, I know you love Nirvana, and I don't mind Nirvana, but I didn't think they were any more popular in the 90s than any other band that was just a popular band at the time.
I think it's because they, a lot of people reference them to, the birth of grunge and there's so many things that they did that they were the first on the scene. They were the first to do these things. And then he met such a tragic end. It's like, as silly as it is, it's like Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin stuff sells for a lot. Janis Joplin was 27 when she died of an overdose. She was same type of thing. She was super, super popular, getting really, really popular. Her career had so much more ahead of her. And then she died of an overdose. I think when it comes to famous musicians and tragedy, people grasp onto that differently. I think there's just like a connection because you're always wondering, what if? Where would they be now? What would it be now? So I think that, as horrible as it is, their memory kind of stays around longer when things like that have happened and people become more attached to them. So is the guitar worth $6 million? To the person that paid the $6 million, it is. I mean, maybe they believe so much in, teaching about mental health and all of those things. The $6 million was worth it for them, for the vision that they saw for the guitar. Maybe they think that I can spend this money, I can get this, I can do this. How many people can I help by spending this money? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's good, because I guess you're right. I guess sadness and tragedy is mostly what music's about. Sure, there's a lot of happy stuff out there, but tragedy is what makes rock and roll.
Yeah, as sad as that is, a lot of times it is. There's a lot of rock music is, sad, anger, that type of, and of course not all of it, but a lot of it is. And that's, I think, what people cling to. I mean, if you listen to Nirvana, you can kind of see everything that his music was about is basically what happened.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And a lot of people's music's like that way. And I guess all the people that we recognize as icons, like Jimi Hendrix or those guys have overdosed or died tragically.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what makes rock and roll. Otherwise, I do think if Nirvana had a great career, they would be, in their late 40s right now. They're going to call it quits and they wrap it up. Do you think that guitar fetches that much money?
No, but I also don't think they would be as popular as they are now. I think they would have done like a lot of bands and they kind of would have just faded out over time. And then they would be doing like let's do our tour where we're doing the same 20 songs, our same 20 popular songs just to keep it going. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like that's kind of what would have happened to them. I don't know that they would have been... How many bands do you know of that was that style from the 90s?
Zero.
That sustained?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, what did come out of the 90s that's still around? Nothing other than reboots. I don't think anybody really stuck around that much.
I mean, Chris Cornell was doing pretty well still, but he wasn't doing it as Soundgarden. And I mean, now he's passed away as well. But, there was Audio Slave. He was doing stuff on his own, but it wasn't Soundgarden. So it wasn't that band from the 90s that continued on.
It was, you're right.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any stellar band from the 90s that is still creating music and popular. And not from the 90s, like a grunge scene band. Alice in Chains, Jane's Addiction, Soundgarden, any of those types of bands that are still going really strong now. Like, I can't think of anybody. And maybe somebody will leave us a comment and I'm wrong, but... And not that they're not still around... that they're not still creating music and really in the forefront.
That's true. And we're so far away now because the 90s, I can see it in my head, but it ended 20 years ago.
Yep.
That would be, let's be like listening to the music in the 80s from the 60s. Like, that's just outdated and gone. And in the 80s, we were already into like Prince and, rock and other stuff like that. Soundgarden's a good example though, because I was a big Soundgarden fan. That was my jam. I loved them. I went and saw them on concert when they were super popular. Right. Then when they broke up, I cried, and then they got together with Audio Slave, and I was like, whatever. And then they came back and reformed again, like everybody does in their twilight for Soundgarden, and it didn't sound good.
Yeah.
I was not happy. I could hear little bits and pieces of Chris Cornell's voice, but it was just 20 years, 15 years older or whatever. And it just, I was not, I was just kind of sad. I didn't buy it. The music would sound great, but when he'd open his mouth, it just wasn't the same. And no disrespect, like, I love Soundgarden so much. I like them better than Nirvana. I like them better than Alice in Chains. I like them better than all of those bands. But you're right, they did not age well. I think what would ended up happening the way Kurt Cobain's voice is I think it would have just ended up being sad.
I think that it would not have aged well. I don't think their style of music... I mean, that style of music didn't age well. Not that we don't still listen to it and we don't still enjoy it now, but it was kind of a style that faded.
Yeah, it came and went quick.
It just kind of... It did. It came and went really fast. So if he would still be around today, would they have made a few more albums? I don't know. He really wasn't happy regardless. Ever? I mean... Yeah, so would he have kept on? I don't know. I feel like it would have been that Axl Rose story. It would have been that, now he hates everybody in the band and he's going to sing Guns N' Roses songs, even though it's not Guns N' Roses anymore. And I mean, Axl Rose has kind of been a train wreck for a long time. And I feel like that's kind of what would have happened. There's a few bands like Nikki Sixx. Nikki Sixx created, 6 a.m., couple years ago and actually did pretty good. So I guess there's some artists that have been able to kind of bring it full circle. Maybe he could have, but I don't know. We'll never know. And that's why his guitar is worth $6 million.
You know what? You're right. You're right about that. You're right. I don't think Dave Grohl would have put up with the crap. But let's say that they did and it went a long ways. I don't think that it would have ended very well for Nirvana.
No, they would have been a band that broke up like every other band in the 90s that everybody hated each other and they were just into too much. They did too many drugs. They drank too much. They were rock and roll lifestyle. Like they were, Fast and Furious lifestyle, that hardcore lifestyle. And you cannot sustain doing that. You can see it over and over and over in history.
Right.
Unless you're Aerosmith. And then apparently you can do anything.
Oh man, I haven't seen Steven Tyler lately. I'm afraid to Google a picture of him.
Or the Rolling Stones. I guess that would be another
Mick
one.
Mick Jagger's Invincible.
Yeah.
I was never really a big Rolling Stones fan, but like I can respect the fact that they're like really super old and alive.
Yes.
Like how? All you guys did was eat drugs. That's it. It's like, what'd you have for breakfast today? Drugs.
Yep. But they made it.
They're still out at it. What is that? Neil Young guy says it's better to burn out than fade away?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think that's what the saying is. I don't know. That's funny that you say that. Jamie was listening to Neil Young this morning when I woke up.
Oh, wow. Why?
My aunt was a huge Neil Young fan when we lived in Arizona. So was it Neil Young or Neil Diamond? No, it's Neil Young. So we heard.
Depends. If you posted a Neil Diamond link in the CC Mouse podcast this morning under Music Mondays.
Is that what got posted?
Neil Young is like Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young, and then Neil Diamond's like, "We're coming to America."
Maybe that was what it was.
Did you post the wrong thing? Because I was wondering today. So I posted Music Monday in the CC Mouse podcast group of just like, hey, what are you guys listening to? And Jess chimes in with a Neil Diamond song. And I'm thinking, because then I try to visualize you, like, are you rocking out to this song? Are you singing this song? Was this your graduation song? Why are you listening to a Neil Diamond song?
It was probably because that must have been what Jamie was listening to. And when I copied it from my phone, because that's what was playing. But no, that wasn't what I meant to post. So
what were you meant to post? Neil Young, who's more of a chill out rocker guy, like, or Neil Diamond? Why? Because we all think that you love Neil Diamond?
No, I didn't post that.
I'm pretty sure you did. You posted.
Nuh-uh, I just looked. It posted the song that I wanted to post in the group.
Let me see.
In the CC Mouse podcast group, I posted what I wanted to post. But you know who did post it? Jamie did. He posted it as Gone to the Snow Dogs.
Okay, that's what it is. Because I was wondering why you posted it twice. So when you scroll down there, it is Neil Diamond, America, live at the Greek Theater. So yes.
That's hilarious. That's what he was listening to this morning.
Uh-huh. Well.
Yeah, so it was Neil Diamond. That's what he was listening to this morning. And that's funny that apparently it posted as Gone to the Snow Dogs instead of from Jamie. That's great. I love it. I'm leaving it. It can stay there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I didn't post that. I posted Zen. I know what I posted. I'm like, there's no way that was me. No, it was Jamie.
Someone gave it a thumbs up. Well, if you've never heard this song, go listen to it on the CC Mouse Podcast Facebook group.
Oh, it's Neil Diamond. It's not that bad.
So yeah, because you posted the one link, and then you went to the deli, and you were you were doing the deli stuff, and then that showed up, and I'm just like, what? Like, and I'm trying to figure out in context why. Like, why is this on here?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not in your wheelhouse at all.
Nope, that was a Jamie song this morning. That was what I woke up listening to this morning. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm hearing, we're coming to America. I'm like, what is going on?
He's still around.
Yeah, yes, he is.
I bet his guitar's not going for $6 million.
Probably not, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you made me open Facebook and look, and then I was reminded of the 4 a.m. nightmare.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh my God. So, went to bed the other day, last night or the night before. I don't even know what day it was.
It was Saturday night.
Okay, so Saturday night. And I went to bed and I got woke up and it was so weird. I was so out. And the next thing I know, Jamie is standing above me and he's saying something and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like trying to focus on what he's saying and I heard him say, do you want to come film this? And I'm like, what? And I looked at him, I'm like, what? And he goes, there's a mouse trapped in the boiler vent. And I'm like, okay, like alive? And he goes, yeah. And I'm going, okay, so there's a live mouse trapped in the boiler vent. Okay, am I actually awake or am I dreaming? Okay, I'm awake. Okay, what? So he says everything again and he's like, I just thought you would want to vlog it. I'm going to save this mouse. And I'm like, okay. So I get up and I find the camera and I make it all the way downstairs and I immediately lay down on the couch because I'm like, what am I doing? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm exhausted. So he's trying to take the vent apart and it doesn't want to come apart. I half fall asleep on the couch down there while he's doing this. I can hear the little thing scurrying inside and I'm like, oh, it's still alive and sweet, we're going to be able to save it. He's like, it's right where the vent flap is so it can't fall down in. So I should be able to just reach in here and get him out. So we got a bucket. And then I'm like, well, what if he can jump out of the bucket? And he's like, well, grab a towel. So I grabbed a towel and we got the towel there and we got the bucket. Now I'm like kind of awake because I'm moving around and I'm helping him grab stuff. And I'm like, when you watch the vlog, you will hear how asleep I was because I was out of it. So the next thing, he pulls the vent and he like turns it to the side and I hear all this movement. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, it's probably not even a mouse. It's probably a bird. And oh my God, it was a bird. I saw its little, I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure I got it on camera where I literally said, that's it. Nope, I'm out. I'll see you later. You get that. I'm done. I'm going upstairs. You do whatever you got to do. And I left. I bailed. And then I came back down. Right. Because he hadn't gotten it out yet. And he's like, I'm going to turn this around and I'm just going to tip this thing into the bucket and I'm going to put the towel over top of it. He's like, it can't fly. I don't think it can fly. I think it's too tired to fly. And I'm like, all right. So I'm standing there and I don't remember if I was filming or not, but the next thing I see is that freaking bird goes flying out of the thing and I ran upstairs.
You're done?
I'm like, please just catch it. I hate birds. And so then he comes upstairs and he got it. He caught it and he put it in the bucket. He put the towel over top of it. He comes upstairs and he's like, do you want to see it? I'm like, no. And he goes, there's another one. I'm like, what? He's like, there's 2 birds in there. He's like, I got to go back down and get the other one. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. So we put the first bird outside. And I don't know if you know this, but birds don't fly in the dark. They can't see in the dark. Not all birds. Most birds cannot see very well in the dark. Mm-hmm. So we had the kitchen window open for some reason and the light was on in the kitchen and the bird blew out of the bucket and flew straight into the window.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah. So then it landed on the windowsill and was like just chilling out there. And I'm like, all right, this one's just chilling out here. Let's go get the other bird. So Jamie went downstairs. I didn't go downstairs. And he came back up and this one he actually had in his hands because he had to like reach up into this pipe and grab it. So he grabbed it out of the pipe and he had it in his hands when I came upstairs. And he's like, here, do you want to get a picture of it? And like, I'm like leaning. And I'm pretty sure I got this on camera where I'm like, stop moving. Don't move. Stand still. And he's like trying to push this bird towards me. And I kept going, stop moving. And I had tried to get a picture of it, but I was shaking. I was way too scared. I really don't like even now, I have goosebumps telling the story. I do not like birds are cute when they're not in my face, when they're not in my house.
Right.
So anyway, we got that one out, and he put that one outside, and it flew into the side of the camper because the side of the camper was all lit up. Flew into the side of the camper and landed. So Jamie ended up going and picking him up and taking him out front because he didn't want to fly. And then as soon as he got up front, he flew away. So I have been trying to figure out what kind of bird it was because Jamie kept going, oh, it's just a sparrow. Well, I started looking at the picture and I'm like, that's not a sparrow. That was an all black bird. So we started Googling it and we're like, what kind of bird is it? And then he tells me, he's like, oh, I think it's what did he call it? He goes, I think it's a white-crested swift. And I'm like, it didn't have the white part on it. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Mind you, these birds fell down the chimney into our boiler. Probably because there's normally like a little cage on top of a chimney, but over time they can rust or over time they can get blown off, or if animals, continuously try to go up there, they can get shifted. So Jamie's going to go up there and make sure that we replace it so this doesn't happen again. But this I found hilarious because we figured out what kind of bird it was.
What's that?
It's a chimney swift.
Oh my gosh.
The name of the bird that we caught, 2 of, was a chimney swift. And they actually like to build nests, like on chimneys. That's actually what they like to do.
That's why there was more than one in there.
That was why we're pretty sure it was
they took bad air Uber directions and then shunk. Okay, so this like pipe, it just comes out of your house? Is it like a chimney for your water heater?
Yes, it's where the water heater and the boiler vent outside of the house. And then down in the basement, where the chimney comes down into the basement, there's like a metal piping that comes out of the wall and then goes into the boiler. And it's like L-shaped, so it comes out of the wall and then goes straight down into the boiler. And there's a flap in the bottom of it when the boiler runs that opens up to vent, and then when it's not venting, it closes. So nothing can actually fall down into the boiler. It can only fall on top of that flap.
Okay, I can see that in my head.
Yeah, and that's where one was stuck there and one was stuck just above it. So Jamie actually had to reach up above it and save it. So he saved 2 birds at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then, of course, I couldn't fall back asleep because, 1, I was freaked out. There was birds in my house. 2, I was like, what if there's more? And then I was like, what if there was babies? What if they have a nest up there? And now their babies are what if they just go back to the nest? So, yeah, we had some excitement.
They have a name for the fear of birds. It's called ornithophobia. 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 Oh my gosh. They should have an easier name. It should be called, I don't like birds.
Bird phobia.
Yeah, but I love it because it's the abnormal, irrational fear of birds. It's like not even a rational fear.
I have an irrational fear of birds. And it's not even like, I don't even know how to explain it. Because, that seagull that I saw the other day down by the water that after it rained that couldn't fly because he was soaking wet, I got pretty close to him.
Because he couldn't fly.
That's probably what it was.
Maybe
I knew he couldn't fly at my face.
Yeah. So
I don't like how twitchy birds are. I don't like how fast their heads move. And, I feel like they're just really, I don't know. That's the part I think that gets me the most. When they move so fast. Their little heads spin so fast. I don't like that.
Here we go. Google's going to help be your therapist. Most common causes of not liking birds is a negative encounter with the feared animal. Birds can sometimes be aggressive in hunting for food, and childhood run-ins with pigeons or seagulls bent on stealing popcorn or other snacks are common.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen? Did they steal your popcorn?
No, I got bit by a goose when I was little.
Oh, we've all been goosed. we do have those here, and even when they get near me, I still kind of do that thing of like, what are you gonna do, peck me with your beak? Aren't they soft?
No, they're not soft. I used to feed the ducks and the geese when I was little at the duck park with my grandpa. We'd feed like bread and stuff to them, but I didn't want to get close to them. I was never a fan of getting close to them. When I worked at the pet store in Arizona, I had no choice. I had to deal with the birds there, and they were terrifying.
Really? What would you do? You turn your head where you stick your hand in there and just kind of deal?
Well, we would have to clip their wings and stuff so they wouldn't fly. So somebody would have to hold the bird and pull out a wing, and then they bite your fingers. They would bite your thumbs, and
yeah. If you cut off my arm, I'd be mad too.
Yeah, right.
You have to cut off their wings.
You clip their wings so they can't fly.
Then they're just rats.
Pretty much. But their wings grow back. Like, you have to do it all the time because their wings grow back.
Really?
Yeah, their wings will grow back. You can have a pet bird that has full flight. You don't have to clip their wings, but we did at the store so that they couldn't fly around in the cages, because then they're just going to hurt themselves. If you have a bird that lives in a cage and it tries to fly, it can injure themselves. So if you have a bird as a pet, normally you clip their wings so that they can't fly, so they can't hurt themselves.
Oh, well, you sure know a lot about birds, and I promise I'll never, have a bird, so if you ever come hang out with me, you won't have to have one. Especially not those speaking birds. I don't need to repeat in some of the stuff I say. That's for sure. Well,
birds are pretty. I like the hummingbirds. I like looking at them through the glass. I don't like being dive bombed by them when I'm sitting outside. But
that's true. What about other flying things? Like what does a dragonfly do? Are you afraid of dragonflies?
No, dragonflies don't bother me. Most bugs that fly don't bother me. I'm not afraid of bats. For some reason, I have no fear of bats. Flying squirrels don't bother me.
Interesting.
I don't know. But birds, and it's not. I don't know. No, I guess it's a fear. I ran. I definitely ran. As soon as that thing come flying out of that pipe, I was out. I was just yelling. I'm like, I'm out. See you later. Bye.
I saw the pictures through the glass.
Yeah,
that you took. I'm like, why is the bird standing there?
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. You don't like the birds, but you're okay with flying squirrels and bats and hummingbirds.
Yeah. And hummingbirds. I still don't want to get close to the hummingbirds. They're okay when they're on the other side of the glass. And Greg always makes fun of me because my favorite bird of all the birds is a blue jay. And blue jays are the meanest, nastiest birds. They'll fight squirrels. They're just mean and nasty and have no regard for any other bird, but they're still my favorite bird.
I don't know. I've watched a lot of cartoons, and I think the worst bird of all the birds is the roadrunner. That guy's always letting the coyote have it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
We have those out here. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, we had them when we lived in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't see them too often, but sometimes you'll see a bird not flying away, running on the side of the road. You're like, dude, you should fly away. Here comes my car. And it's like, meep, meep, and it runs. Okay, it doesn't make that noise. But it does go running off. And they're not blue.
No, we have that problem with the woodcocks here.
Yeah, do they just run away, or do they smack on the wood?
The woodcocks, they lay their nests on the ground.
I gotta see what it looks like.
They're really. I have a picture of one, a nest that we found that we almost stepped on once. But when we go jeeping, they like to put their nests in sandy areas. So sometimes they will build right on the edge or right in the middle of the roads.
Uh-huh.
And we'll be jeeping, and it's like, all right, you got to move, get out of the road, or they'll just run in front of the car instead of getting off the road. They're not very big, but they have really long. Beaks.
Oh yeah. If you guys want to look up woodcock, make sure you put bird at the end of it, and just yeah. Well, I can't get that out of my eyes. They do have really, really long beaks.
Yes. Yeah. They dance too.
Yes, I see dancing and drumming, so they must make a lot of noise like a woodpecker. I did see a woodpecker once when I went camping, air quotes, and it had all these holes in this tree. I'm like, wow, you've been there for a minute.
Yep.
But yeah, this woodcock thing looks pretty cool. It looks like it could do some damage.
They're real. Again, I'm not a huge fan of birds. They're a really cool bird. I have a picture of a nest of little baby ones from when we went camping the one time we walked up Silver Lake or Silver Mountain, and we almost stepped on them. And there was this little tiny nest of them, and they were so cool. And the mama bird was running around trying to lead us away from the nest, and they're really neat.
Oh yeah,
I still don't want to get that close to them.
Oh, Google. What does woodcock taste like?
What?
Are woodcocks rare? What does the woodcock? Oh, why does the woodcock dance? It dances because it's happy.
Question.
Let's see. Every spring, males dance in air quotes to attack mates by sprawling through the air while making a twittering sound. Okay, so they're just shaking their booties.
They're just shaking their thing.
Yeah, and then the girls are like, "Oh, look at him, Mr. Saturday Night Live." Oh right, okay. So no, we don't have any birds here that are knocking around and doing stuff like that.
Right.
We get on this bird talk. Oh, because you hated them. Let's talk about the things that you hate.
All right, let's do that.
Yes. Oh.
Well, I had to tell the story, and it will be in a vlog. It'll go up probably this week, I believe. That's my job today, is to get caught up on vlogs.
Oh, good. I'll be interesting to watch that, because you sent it to me live at 4 a.m, which was 1 a.m. my time. And I don't know. I was awake, and I picked up the phone and looked, and I think I chuckled, and I put the phone down. I didn't even reply back to you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, I guess that's happening. I guess you'll tell me more about that in the morning.
Right? Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
It'll be interesting to see what you sound like at 4 a.m. after you've been dead asleep. Were you able to turn it on?
I don't even remember. Like, it's such a blur. Like, I know I had the camera. I'm just hoping I knew where I was pointing it because I was half asleep.
Oh, that's great. I haven't had anything good or any cool action happen here other than heat. So
I do remember that when Jamie had the bird in the bucket, he wanted me to come film it, and I kept going, just take the camera, just take the camera, just take the camera.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's got no fear.
Oh, no. And he saved him. He reached in there and saved, he saved the birds. Like he said, he goes, I thought it was a mouse, and I knew it wasn't going to die, so I thought I could just go to sleep. He's like, but I could hear it. He's like, so I knew I had to get it out now. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
All right, Jess, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
I'm melting in my house here.
I figured as much.
I know. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. You can find us everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Wait, I want to say it again. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Interact with us. Oh, no.
Wow.
Oof. I got caught on my tongue ring. Okay, take 3. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Interact with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon at CC Mouse Podcast. Rep our merch at ccmousepodcast.shop. And we'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye.
Bye. Yay, we did a thing.